Good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen, Allincrypto here, and welcome back, guys, for what is going to be another jam-packed daily cryptocurrency market update. I'm wishing you all a fantastic Thursday, and as always, if you are new to this channel and finding yourself on my videos for the first time today, don't forget to check out that subscribe button because we drop an update just like this one around 1 p.m. UK time every single day to help you guys stay up to date with the latest and greatest happening in the crypto space, but also the broader markets. That's exactly what we're going to be doing in this video. This is going to be predominantly a crypto-focused video. We've spoken a lot about the macro, liquidity, and all this kind of stuff and how that factors into where we believe the cryptocurrency space is heading. But we have a lot of internal, in regards to the crypto space, news to share with you. We've got news involving Coinbase and the SEC. We also have news involving Fidelity and them actually filing for a spot Ethereum ETF with staking. Now, you are going to get an Ethereum ETF, in my opinion. I think that is technically signaled in regards to ETH BTC and ETH dominance, where we are going to see Ethereum gain a lot of ground in regards to dominance of the overall crypto space and in relation to Bitcoin. And I think that's going to be signaled on the approval, or is going to come to fruition on the approval of an actual ETF. And then, of course, we're going to be talking about the AI play in regards to crypto, this AI powerhouse that is now formed out of Fetch, Singularity Net, and, of course, Ocean Protocol. This is going to be crypto's AI play. Now, I've been listening to a lot since this was actually announced yesterday. It was on Bloomberg Terminal on Tuesday, which is huge in itself. But this is huge. And we'll sort of explain that in a little bit more detail. And then we'll dive over to the Bitcoin chart and, of course, look at Total 2, as we are some of the only people to be doing analysis on the Total 2, the total market cap of the crypto space, excluding Bitcoin, so the altcoin market, and the fact that we think that is heading to $3.7 trillion, which aligns with everything else that we're looking at. So let's start things off with what took place yesterday in regards to the SEC versus Coinbase. And this is from Paul Grewal, who is the chief legal officer over at Coinbase. Today, the court decided that our SEC case will move forward on most of the claims, but dismissed the claims against Coinbase Wallet. We were prepared for this, and we look forward to uncovering more about the SEC's internal view and discussion on crypto regulations. So, a bit of a backstory here. We know what's happened. Obviously, the SEC has came out and charged pretty much every exchange out there with offering unregistered securities and security-based products. They've penalized staking massively. And actually, Coinbase moved on, I think it was the doctrine clause to basically dismiss the SEC as kind of overstepping their marks case against them. The judge actually said, no, we're not going to do that. I think it's the same judge that was actually involved in the Ripple case. But he goes on to say, earlier motions like ours against a government agency are almost always denied, but clarity is the ultimate goal, and today's decisions continues us on this path. So the fight is going to continue. While we continue this process and any necessary appeals, we encourage Congress to build the momentum we saw last year to advance comprehensive digital asset legislation in the US. This is critical if we want to innovate and remain in the US. We also appreciate the court's understanding that technological innovations like Coinbase Wallet do not and cannot implicate US securities laws. So even though it was denied, there was a huge win here, and we'll look at what Brian Armstrong had to say about this himself. Looking ahead, we remain confident in our legal arguments. We look forward to providing or proving we're right. We are eager for the opportunity to take discovery from the SEC for the first time, and we appreciate the court's continued consideration of our case. You can read the full decision here. So we do have the full decision over here, which was the conclusion. Brian Armstrong actually chimed in on this and said, great progress on the SEC case and a huge win for self-custodial wallets. This ensures the on-chain ecosystem will continue to innovate and create economic freedom around the world. We'll continue fighting for your right to use crypto and to get clarity around the rules until the job is done. So this is all important because our space is currently not even allowed to become a space in the US. And the US is the biggest liquidity provider in the world. It's where all the money really is. There is money all over the world, but the US is the largest kind of source of it. And the approval or the clarity on these digital assets is going to be what propels, what essentially sees us play out to that $3.7 trillion total to market cap. And I think it's coming. I do really believe it's coming. I've never seen the SEC get their behind handed to them like I have in crypto. There was a number of other takes here. The bar was very low for the SEC to get their way here. Would have been very surprising if failure hadn't found at least one plausible argument in a handful they alleged against Coinbase. Now Coinbase will have a chance to prove it in court like Ripple. And of course, Ripple won. I believe this is the same judge, actually. We will see. But this was the kind of official document on it. And then, of course, this is going to move forward in regards to April. Rather interestingly, also yesterday, and remember, we technically believe, and I'll show you that in just a second, that Ethereum will get an ETF. But rather interesting, Fidelity, who is a $4.5 trillion company, files an S1 for a spot Ethereum ETF with staking included. So this is very interesting. And again, another domino to fall. Remember, and I'll show you this very quickly, we do believe that Ethereum will get an ETF based on technically what we're looking at on ETH BTC. This, I believe, is going to set up a big, broad pattern that's going to see Ethereum gain ground against Bitcoin and also ETH DOM. So we're very bullish on Ethereum and really the altcoin space at large. We haven't really had an alt season yet. It's really, Bitcoin has been largely the star of the show. Yeah, we do have some altcoins that have outperformed Bitcoin. We have opened up a few more slots on Patreon, but you're going to have to get them whilst they're hot because they will fill up very, very quickly. But we do believe an Ethereum ETF is absolutely on the cards. What I want to kind of talk to you guys about also is what took place or was really announced and spoken on yesterday. And that is the merging of Fetch, AGIX, which is Singularity Net and Ocean Protocol, to create the Super Intelligence Alliance. So what they're going to be doing is merging all of their tokens into the ASI token, which essentially is going to become the crypto AI play that is going to go against the cloud lords, the people who basically control not only the infrastructure, but also the actual AI software themselves, like Google, Microsoft, and Amazon, and Meta, and people like this. This narrative is huge. It's actually probably more important that we decentralize things like AI and the infrastructure around it than what Bitcoin is doing with money. And some people will say that's absurd because money is such an integral part in all our lives. But if you look at the future we're moving towards, where you have things like UBI and money becomes and plays a perhaps different role in the world that we're kind of moving towards, the digital world that we're moving towards, AI is directly going to impact thought. And it's going to be the way people, it's going to be an integral part of everybody's life. And if that is controlled by 3 companies, that's dangerous. So this narrative is huge. It's in the AI sector. We've seen NVIDIA become a $2.2 trillion. I remember they were at $1 trillion. Now they're $2.2 trillion company. I actually believe that the ASI token could be, and we're very well positioned as a group, and me as a personal investor, could become one of the first altcoins to reach $1 trillion. The merge is going to bring them at $7.5 billion market cap. That's going to shoot into the top 20. There's going to be some real interesting things around that. And we're actually looking at altcoins that are associated with this, that do various things in regards to the deep in space. So we've covered quite a lot. I just wanted to highlight that. This is huge. It's really the first time I've ever seen a token merge in that fashion. And certainly in the AI sector, very, very interesting. Let's talk a little about a bit about Bitcoin, where it's currently at. You guys know the plan and the path forward that we've set out for Bitcoin. We'll bring the chart up just now. It's very much doing exactly what we want it to do. Okay, so both these patterns are very compliant. They've both been completed or not completed. The first inverse head and shoulders was completed. Now we're looking for the second one that's going to take us to $151,000. We have a whole macro law around this and why we believe this is going to take place. You're currently just consolidating around all-time highs, but I do think you're really going to push through this. There's a lot going on with Grayscale and things like that, but the good and bad news of Grayscale is their hoard and their selling waves or selling pressure will run out, and that's going to leave a real buy pressure. There's already more Bitcoin being bought just by the ETFs than actually comes into existence every day. Exchanges are getting drained, and that's all pre-halvening. I remember the first time Bitcoin's ever gone on to put in a new high pre-halvening from the previous cycle. Beautiful picture that's being painted. And of course, in regards to altcoins, this is a total 2. So everything excluding Bitcoin is currently sat at $1.1 trillion. We believe it's heading all the way to 3.7, which is over a 3x from where it currently is. And altcoins will benefit from that. Also, when you look at altcoins and where they're at, we'll use Hedera as an example. They've broken out on volume, some of the biggest volume that you've seen. They're now retesting, ready for that move up. And it's all going to kind of coincide, if that makes sense. ICP was another one that we got very, very right. And remember, we got patterns already in play and broader patterns that could come in play. So I don't want to ramble on for too much longer, guys. That's really all I've got for you. A jam-packed update. We've got news from Coinbase. We've got news in regards to Ethereum ETF. We've got news in regards to the new AI superpower that is forming. And of course, in regards to technically where we think the market's at, it's in a great position. That's all I've got for you guys. If you enjoyed the content, like us, appreciate it. So as a comment, and I will see you all in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next.